What's up, YouTube? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some Shannon Sharpe nonsense. Seems that he's gotten himself caught up in a shakedown, as he likes to call it. I'll be covering a few clips here. First, let's go over how Corey Holcomb feels about it.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Shannon Sharpe is never going to eclipse having Cat Williams on his show. Just stop it. Stop it. I believe this is all a publicity stunt. Who is the woman, how she look? Is she young for real? I want to know all the details before I get to thinking Shannon Sharpe really fighting somebody trying to get at him for $50 million, because I heard it's the lawyers that tried to get at Jay-Z. These lawyers are willing to play ball for money. This is a publicity stunt in my eye. I do not believe Shannon Sharpe will anybody, but I do believe he will wreck the mind of people because the media is allowed to lie with no consequence. If you don't know this, the media can give fake news. They can tell you anything they want to tell you. So I don't know nothing about Shannon Sharpe and no woman. All I know, this is who I seen Shannon Sharpe with. He was at the Lakers game with the little boy who had the stretch pants denim on, who he claimed was his stylist. That is the only person I've seen him with out in the streets with some femininity to him. Fine. If he gets fired from ESPN, they fire black men for allegations, not actual charges, not actual he did it and was proven in court. They fire black men for allegations. If Shannon Sharpe gets fired off ESPN, I will believe that this story is real. What up, Macca?
What up,
Macca
bro?
just walked in the house. Love, baby.
You ready? Well, Shannon was speaking and he was talking about sexual, and he was like, yeah, he accidentally said when
What did he say?
when I'm taking a man down, and then he kept talking, and in the background he's like, you said a man, and he was like, oh, I mean a woman. When I'm taking a young lady.
Oh, so he made a mistake and said a
yeah.
man. Okay. I'll be scared to play them people's voice, even though it's all on the internet, like you say. But I mean, I believe that brother Shannon is at war with his sexuality. I believe that. I believe he messes with men and women too. But I don't believe all this stuff. Look, the man in the news before for having sex with a girl. We already, I mean, like, you can't run that on me. Like, I'm talking about when he had I made a mistake and left the phone on.
Well, how does that happen to anybody?
I'm saying, oh, that's cap right there. So now he got a allegation, huh? Well, I'm going to turn on First Take for the rest of the week. If he's still there, I believe this is all a publicity stunt.
By him.
Yes, by him and people. You know, it ain't just him. When Stephen A. in the news for something, it's all publicity, dog, because they want to stay on top. Cat Williams showed him what it's like to be #1 in the algorithms everywhere. They've been trying to get that lick back for the longest.
Right.
They've been trying to get that lick back for the longest. Let me tell you something, boy.
This is an extent, though. This is a reach.
I don't know. I feel like Corey didn't have all the information at the time he was recording this. Because partially he could be right. This could be a publicity stunt. I don't know. We don't really know. But he could be wrong.
Say that again.
This is a reach if this is what, forget the gentleman's name that said it in the chat. He said this is one hell of a production.
Wait a minute. What did it say right there? What did that say?
What was that yellow
The yellow
super
one?
chat, Nail, right there?
Oh, House of Hypocrites. That's the homie right there. Stephen A. Wait a minute. Did a 20-minute video throwing Shannon Sharpe under the bus. I'm gonna show the proof tomorrow, but I believe SAS trying to keep his spot before Shannon dethrone him. SAS a snake. Okay, that's the homie House of Hypocrites, young brother
That's an
who's
angle.
real diligent with his work and research. So we gonna see House of Hypocrites. I'm gonna check your page, but I believe this is a publicity stunt.
Well, I mean,
And it doesn't matter if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, Shannon Sharpe is gonna get fired for ESPN.
well, he has. I mean, you know, in that context of what you're saying, he has been doing a lot of promo for a sex pill.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's on every time you on Instagram or anything that promo comes with that little red pill.
No.
Yeah, the little red pill.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I can't take it because he advertising it.
Oh my.
I believe if you take that pill, about 40 minutes later, I want some dick.
It's gonna make your ass wet.
Oh my God.
Why is my
If
ass-
he advertising it, I can't take no pill. Backdoria is out here trying to advertise.
Oh my God.
This is gonna make it hard for him. I mean, for them. Yeah, them. You said it right, him and them. That's a booty buster pill.
Yeah, that's great.
You lose erection and vagina in front of you. That's who I seen him with that's feminine in public.
The
That
style-
picture right there.
Is it
And
oh
my
like I
God.
said, I
Really,
said this
Shannon?
before.
Hold
Darlene,
up,
Craig,
bruh.
when he was an
Hold
NFL
up,
player.
bruh. Hold up, bruh. Shannon. That's who you was going to Laker games with? Yeah, I see why he put out that IG clip.
But he didn't have as much fame as he had now
Right.
as the guy on the internet with the app Talking After Dark and all like that. Now everybody's watching him, so he got rid of his man, in my opinion, because he was like, the heat too hot, everybody watching us now.
What would you do if you was Shannon Sharpe and it was a picture like? How would you handle that? How would you handle a gay rumor about you that people thought was
If
true?
I was sitting next to some man dressed like that, I'd be looking at him like this. This had a picture of me, Corey Holcomb. Get your-
Well, he looked like he's.
I didn't sit with my family in the funeral car.
Right.
I can't do it.
I just
If
don't
you a
like his-
man and you got on a feminine outfit, I don't hate you. I just am very curious as to what you're thinking when I'm around you. Because I'm sexy than a motherfucker.
I'm just glad he had a T-shirt on underneath that. What is that that jean jacket with no shirt?
See, his knees facing me is making me mad. I don't like
Yeah, nothing.
that because
Shannon.
I know.
It's
What if
more-
it's a relative? What if that's his cousin or something?
It better be.
What if his legs go all the way back and it's in his...
he had a little butterfly on his.
What if he could put his legs all the way
It better
back
be my cousin. That's the
and
only-
it's
bruh.
in...
At the Lakers
The
game,
stinker.
courtside.
That might be his agent.
Look how dude
They
look
all
without
got
all the makeup
Wait, they all
on.
got the same teeth. Mendices,
Oh my
Mendices,
God.
Same dentist.
Mendices, and then
Look how
Shannon.
dude look without all the makeup.
Shannon.
Somebody say you zip flame dress up. Yes, and I was very traumatized by that.
God, stupid.
Flame got me that day because we was in the comedy competition and I ripped it.
Yeah.
He was like, Corey, help me.
Oh, I thought that was very.
But I brought it up. That shows how confident a man
That's
I am.
true. That is true.
But I'm saying that picture says so much right there. That is, he looked mad. He must know the camera pointing at them.
Or no, maybe he was. Maybe he said, "Don't come sit right next." I don't know. Right? It looks like one of those.
It looked like he just asked Shannon, where we going at today?
I'm glad Shannon got rid of the side part. I don't dig the side part like that.
Look how dude look without the makeup on, though. He looked like a real little running back or something.
He do got makeup on. That's crazy.
He looked like Barry Sanders. That-
Like when they together
he don't.
intimately and they both on their side. It's got to be easier, that's what I would say, for men who mess with men. Like that side,
Oh,
that ain't no easy position to pull off. It's for young boys who feel like doing something different. But it's easier, I guess, when you're a man because the point of entry is closer to the back.
oh, that's wild shit right there.
There they go together again. That's who I see him with. I feel sorry for that brother who has to play the sideline knowing that they are deeply in love.
I'm new to this.
Guys do it
Every
Fam,
time,
Shannon, who
with their
is
side.
this?
every time Shay go over there, I know old boy be having
Talking about that's his stylist. I'm not going to no Laker games with my stylist, brother. What, Shannon? You
deep love songs playing
Who
to
you
try to
playing
reach
with,
him and
bruh?
say, fuck what people think. We've been doing this for the long. I put my work in with you. My ass don't even close no more
Oh,
since you
God.
started taking them red pills. And he pressed on his little iPod. Come show me your
Somebody said that's his son.
kindness.
What you know about that song? Dang.
In your arms, I know how fine. No, it ain't. In your ass, I know how fine it. Homie, don't you know with you, I'm digging for shit. What old boy say when he starts singing? You know, he the girl of the relationship, so he's like, come bring me your red pill. In my ass, Dookie will spill.
It's a nice
my
sweater.
God.
I like this one.
Shannon, don't you know with you, I'm gonna share.
It's It's my understanding that he was kindly let go, is what I heard that he was.
He's not let go. You
No,
don't
that
just
he
let
was-
somebody
no, that
go.
he-
You've been
no, that he
banging
don't
for a
work
long
for him
time.
anymore. He was his stylist.
Right, he told him, I'm just paying you. Ain't got to throw it for work no more. That stylist stuff, we gonna get caught like that.
I can't get hard for you no more.
Now, where my red pill at? Did you call Ocho? No, I'm just joking with you. That's a joke, Ocho. That's a joke, homie.
That shit crazy.
What's another deep love song? Deep meaning backdooria.
Fire- oh,
a backdooria deep love song.
Damn.
You brought out my ass's fire, homie.
For a fast dance one, you got what I need.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's Teddy.
You got what I want.
Amazing. You do a gospel song.
Yeah.
Amazing gaze.
Come on and sit your ass. Sit your ass on my face.
My secret God.
The same lawyer that fucked over Deshaun Watson is the same lawyer trying to get a bag
And
out of
Jay-Z,
Sharp.
And Jay-Z as
Come
well.
on, Skip.
And yeah,
Yeah,
that
his
same-
name is what's
It's all a setup, man. I believe they
Bugsy.
paid them
Bugsy.
lawyers
Big
for the
Spit.
advertisement. It's an advertisement thing. These lawyers are trying, listen, man,
It's the same nigga. Big Spit.
they're trying to get the money about you. But you can pay these lawyers, look, we want to set up a rate. We're going to pay you up front
Yeah.
because it's advertisement.
Busby.
If it ain't advertisement, dude in trouble on ESPN.
Yeah.
Why would he not get fired when they fire people? He's not Ben Roethlisberger. He ain't got the complexion for the connection, as the late Paul Mooney said. He's supposed to be gone. Get that picture of them people off there now. Who is the other dude right there?
Mendici.
That's Mendici.
Who is that? What does he do?
He's
He
married
was on
to
a
some
reality show. He
one
was
of those
married
hip hop
to,
ones.
what was her name?
He on a hip hop reality show.
Yeah, his
Yandy.
wife was Yandy.
Yandy.
Yeah. Are they still together?
Wait, he on a hip hop reality show.
All right. Stephen A has some words about the situation, so I guess we'll get into that now for a bit.
My colleague at ESPN and my friend,
Let's speed this
the Hall
up.
of Fame
Play
tight
up.
end, was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe, pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Busby. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z also has countersued Busby. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September of last year. In response to the suit, Shannon and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him and the Jane Doe. In addition to that, they issued the following statement, quote, "This lawsuit, filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed," end quote. Then earlier today, Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, sent TMZ Sports a 1 minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media and issued this response. Take a look. With that being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case. So there is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case, which means that he can either be found liable or not liable. The accuser in question is seeking $50 million. That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time. According to some audio that was put out earlier today by Attorney Busby, you hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not. And the person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not. The words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that, knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How we interpret that.
All right, here's a clip of Akademiks reading over the lawsuit, I guess, because, yeah, I'm not reading it. So
Often manipulated her, at times being sweet and loving to get what he wanted, other times being angry and aggressive to achieve his goals. She discovered over time he was extremely emotional and possessed an uncontrollable temper. Yeah, roid rage, allegedly. He displayed characteristics of a true narcissist. Let's call it a rich-ass nigga. He wielded his power and influence and celebrity to control the plaintiff to get what he wanted, whenever he wanted, all the while jealously guarding what he considered his for himself. By October 24, it got worse, and he was insistent. Okay, so this was where they're talking about the sexual assault. By this point, he was no longer able to credibly maintain that they was exclusive. He had an accidental. Okay, they're talking about the leaking of the video. Okay, this is him, and then cool. All right. Now here are the factual allegations. That's what the good stuff is always at. According to New York lawsuit, okay, so they're referring to like this other lawsuit, which we didn't even know existed, but someone filed a lawsuit against him in New York. They're saying he live streamed in September 2024. Plaintiff discovered that Shannon Sharpe was secretly recording their sexual encounter without her consent. When she confronted him, he summarily dismissed her concerns, claiming the videos were for his own personal use. That too is a lie. He shared the videos with friends and associates. At one point, even forced the plaintiff to have sex with him on FaceTime while he was FaceTiming one of his childhood friends named Bucket. Whenever plaintiff would get up the courage to object to his outrageous conduct, which was not often, he would aggressively and angrily put her back in her place. He's not only a sports icon, he's something far worse, a flawed narcissistic individual who has spent years using his fame, power, and influence to manipulate, control, and subjugate and violate women. With this lawsuit, the plaintiff intends to put an end to the egregious conduct, okay? The beginning of a consensual but deeply manipulated relationship. That was 2023. Okay. So they met in a Los Angeles gym. She found Shannon Sharpe standing behind her. He told her he had noticed her at the gym, wondered why she hadn't introduced herself. So the first time they spoke, he was 54, and how old was she? It says during the first conversation, Sharpe proposed a challenge, a competition to see who could lean out faster. The prize that the plaintiff won, he would buy her fake tits. Plaintiff was stunned. Okay. Shannon Sharpe made sure the plaintiff understood who he was, a celebrity and TV personality. Okay. Eventually, plaintiff gave in He said he wanted her to come to his mansion. And then when she agreed, he said she could meet him outside the gym and made a demand that she had to sign non-disclosure. He refused to explain why and would not let her see a copy of the proposed agreement. Instead, he simply insisted she sign one. Plaintiff refused after multiple attempts. When he realized she would not cooperate, he finally dropped the issue. First night he went to the house, was on anything she ever dealt with, disturbed and unsettling. Okay. Plaintiff
That was your mistake right there, Shannon. You should have dropped her right then.
got to the house. Sharpe opened the door without a word, no greeting, no nothing. Without so much as looking at the plaintiff, he simply turned away from her after opening the door and walked upstairs. The plaintiff hesitated and followed, as she did not know anywhere to go. When they reached the bedroom, he pointed to the bed before disappearing into the bathroom and shutting the door behind him. Slane said a word to the plaintiff. She sat on the bed, waiting, unsure of what to expect or if she should leave. Roughly 5 minutes later, he finally emerged. Still didn't say anything and said he turned off all the lights and lay down on the bed. Uncomfortable and unsure what to do, for roughly about 10 minutes, there was nothing but silence. Then, without warning, he placed his hands on the plaintiff's neck from behind, pressed his erect penis against her body, and said his first words of the night. I knew from the first time I saw you that I was going to fuck you. I'm laughing just because it just seems out of the blue. Doe and Sharpe then engaged in oral sex, and they did so. Doe at some point realized Shannon Sharpe was using his phone. He was apparently recording her. Plaintiff could see he was trying to be discreet, but obvious what he was doing. She said nothing, scared to confront him for what he might do or say. When it ended, he rolled over and went to sleep. At some point during the night, Shannon Sharpe woke up, grabbed the plaintiff by the vagina, and began having sex with her. Next morning, he woke her up roughly 4 a.m. to shoot a media segment for the sports television. He woke the plaintiff up and told her she needed to leave, but informed her that she had to be back at 9 p.m. exactly. The following night, plaintiff arrived at Shannon Sharpe's house at approximately 9:05, just 5 minutes past the time he had demanded. The moment he opened the door, plaintiff experienced his first rage. He immediately launched into a verbal assault, screamed at the plaintiff, berating her for what felt like hours. He accused her of her disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Plaintiff was terrified and feared for her physical safety. Still enraged, Shannon Sharpe turned off the lights, grabbed her by the neck, and just like the night before, began having sexual intercourse with her. This cycle of control, fear, and submission became a routine, yelling at her, controlling her, forcibly grabbing her by the neck, saying he was going to kill her, and a certain dominance became the norm. Over the next year and a half, plaintiff saw Shannon at his house often as 4 times a week. He would treat her like an object, continue to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. He demanded complete control over her at time and body and expected her to be at his house on his schedule and at his command whenever he called. The verbal abuse never stopped. He would berate and degrade her just as he had from the beginning. Over time, specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in the room. Terrified for her safety, she tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone just in case he saw her doing this.
And Shannon has been seen on camera multiple times saying, I keep that chopper. You know I keep that thing. You know I keep them
realized she was
things.
doing this, he grabbed her neck, says, if you ever do that again, I'll fucking kill you. Okay. Now they're saying 2024 summer, that's when the relationship becomes fearful and non-consensual. The aggression went so crazy. He says the plaintiff was with her friends. They could hear Shannon Sharpe yelling over the phone and would ask if she was safe and if she was okay. In the summer of 2024, plaintiff and Sharpe moved to Las Vegas for their own reasons. Shannon Sharpe liked to say the plaintiff followed him to Vegas, but that too is a lie. Wow, they're even making counter arguments. Shannon Sharpe has never said nothing, but I guess there's text messages that probably say that. Once in Vegas, Shannon Sharpe again insisted the plaintiff sign an NDA. She refused, and again he persisted. After enough resistance, he let it go and continued seeing her multiple times a week. His behavior did not change. It was erratic, controlled, and verbally abusive, all while telling the plaintiff he was committed to a sexually exclusive relationship with her. Then in September 2024, he humiliated the plaintiff. He live streamed himself having sex with another woman on Instagram for over 1.1 million followers to see. He later made a jest of the incident on the podcast Club Shay Shay and the show Nightcap, but for the plaintiff, it was anything but funny. He had repeatedly assured her they were an exclusive relationship. This was a lie that not only hurt her emotionally, made her fear for her sexual health and risk of sexually transmitted diseases. At one point, the plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. She stopped answering phone calls and stopped telling him where she was going to be when he would demand to know. Plaintiff's feeble attempts at freedom and independence further upset Sharpe. He began flooding her phone with calls, demanding to know where she was at. He called relentlessly, multiple times per hour. The harassment became so unbearable. The plaintiff frequently began leaving Nevada to cut off communication, resist his efforts to control her, and attempt to reclaim some of her controlled life. Took courage. All right, cool. So on October 6th, he supposedly sexually assaults her, right? Plaintiff was working out at the Nevada gym, following her routine. As she worked out, she saw Shannon Sharpe aggressively approaching her. She could tell by his look and the way he moved quickly towards her that he was furious for having been ignored. As soon as he got close, he told her, sit the fuck down or I'm going to kill you. Plaintiff refused. He said, I don't want to talk to you. You cheated on me. His response was dismissive and control as usual. You don't have a choice. He demanded they talk in private. Again, the plaintiff told him no. She made it clear she didn't want to talk to him or be alone with him or want him come into her home. But Shannon Sharpe didn't care. He never took no for an answer. He forced the plaintiff on a threat to get in his car and go to her house. Once he was in her apartment, the plaintiff tried to keep the conversation in the living room, but Sharpe refused. He demanded to go to the bedroom. She said no. He didn't listen or care. Once inside the bedroom, he grabbed her from behind and forcibly positioned her for oral sex. He held her in place and forced her to begin performing. After he became even angrier and said, "You disrespected me so much, I'm going to punch this asshole." Wow. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again. Plaintiff at this point was crying and sobbing. Tears streamed down her face as Shannon Sharpe repositioned her and took her from behind and inserted his penis into her anus. As he forcibly anally raped her, he said, "Turn around and look at me." Shannon Sharpe grabbed her forehead or head, forcing her to look at him, and she sobbed. He said at this point, "Look at me. Look at my arm. I've got chills. This is how good it is." Shannon Sharpe forced himself on the plaintiff, R-worded her, raped her. Despite her sobbing in agony as it happened, he told her in the moment she was crying that the experience was so good, it was giving him chills. Shannon Sharpe's behavior demonstrates that he believes the plaintiff to be his personal property, possessed and owned by him. He also believed that the laws didn't apply to him, as he could take what he wanted and no one could or would stop him. He was and is wrong. In Jan 2025, he sexually assaults and rapes the plaintiff, ignoring her screams and refusing to wear a condom. In January 2nd, 2025, he told the plaintiff he wanted to see her. Sharpe insisted and reminded the plaintiff that he had a combined Christmas and birthday gift to give to her, as he previously promised her a gift. He ultimately allowed him to come over to the apartment, and she regrets the decision. Once inside the apartment, Sharpe began undressing. Plaintiff firmly stated that multiple times that they would not have sex without protection, demanding that he wore condoms. She knew that in the past he refused to ever use condoms, and she believed that her demand would stop him from having sex with her. But although he refused to use a condom, he insisted on sex. She tried to resist him. She screamed. She had expressed concerns for her safety, knowing that he had been involved with other women. Sorry, Chad. Increasing the risk of transmitted disease. All right, he grabbed her, pulling her, whatever. He repositioned her, forcibly forcing himself inside of her. Plaintiff never stopped demanding and begging that he stop or put on a condom. He ignored her as soon as he penetrated her. Plaintiff screamed out and sobbed. Her cries for help did not stop Sharpe. Lasted around 10 minutes, only ended when Sharpe ejaculated inside of her. Plaintiff cried and began repeatedly for him to stop. Plaintiff left Nevada after the assault. Plaintiff brings these calls of action into the honorable court to whatever. So she's claiming it did start off consensually, then he supposedly twice. Once in...
Shannon Sharpe, this is for you. Brother, I already seen that you tried to pay her 10. She refused it. Good luck, sir. I don't know if this is a publicity stunt, but Shannon might be in some shit from what I've seen. But I also think he is 50, whatever, and at the time this all was taking place, this lady was 19. Sir, please find you some grown women to play with. Please get some. And then I also heard he didn't even, in the world of NDAs, he didn't make this lady sign an NDA. Shannon, Mr. Sharpe, I don't like saying people deserve stuff, but you were moving. Why don't you care enough? Why are you moving like it's not 2020? It's not the 2020s, and people are getting sued left and right for false allegations, and you let this happen? Out of everything this lady has said about you, I don't know if you deserve it, Shannon, but you're very sloppy with your meat, sir. Get it under control, like Miss Monique told you to do. I'll be sure to bring you an update for this, because I'm sure there's going to be one. I've been J Stat. That ain't this. Peace.